What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I am going to do something that's been highly requested. I have the Interactive Brokers demo account ready here and ready to rock and roll, guys. And I'm going to be showing you how I put in my orders for the fibs, for the triggers, for the conditional orders step by step. And I'm going to use today as an example to help guide you guys through this. All right. So as always, guys, make sure you do your due diligence with the brokers. And I'm showing you this is what I do, and doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Okay. I just wanted to be clear because I'm taking a chance here by showing you orders, which is not really what I'm supposed to do. That's usually the broker's job, but I'm going to make sure I give you guys a good guide. Everyone's been asking me for it. So do your due diligence and make sure you paper trade this first to make sure that it works. All right, guys. So if you're ready, let's step into the war zone. So first and foremost, who do we have in the building? Let's do some shout outs. Hellshock, Abo, Corey, STK, Trading Wars Army, Raju, Ramon, Trading Wars Army, Jan, Trading Wars Army, Wayne, Briggs, Trading Wars Army, Murdis, Jenny, One Story a Day, Trading Wars Army, Gus, J Villa, Broke Girl, Trading Wars Army, Andy, Thomas. Good to see everybody. All right, guys. So hit me with a 1 if you're ready to rock and roll, and we'll get right into it. So let me just, for some reason, my Alt tab. There we go. All right, Alt tab, Alt tab. All right, good to go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and we're going to hit the replay on the day. And we're going to go ahead and draw the previous day's high and the previous day's low. So there's our previous day's low right there. And there's our previous day's high right here. And what we're going to do as well is we're going to go get our triggers. We're going to have our long and our short triggers, and I'm going to put them in there to mark up the chart. So remember, our long trigger is our line in the sand where we want to go long from. So it is 367. Oh, that's the wrong one. 365.02. Okay, so I'm going to make this in green. Feel free to mark your chart up as we go through this. It's really good practice. Short plan 357.93. So right here, 357.93. So here we go. Okay. So there we go. So we know the red line is where we want to go short. The green line is where we want to go long from our triggers perspective. And anything in the middle, we'll be looking for fibs, pretty much the Fibonacci. Okay, that's what we'll be looking for. All right, hit me with the 2 real quick. Are you ready? Is your chart marked up? Does everything make sense so far? Okay, so we're just marking up the previous day's high, the previous day's low. We have our trigger lines, which will be playing off of. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the first candlestick of the day right there. Okay, so the first candle comes in and we are in the middle of the range. You could see we're in between the high and the low. So I did not take an opening range breakout. So instead, I waited for the Fibonacci. So the first Fibonacci play that we had, I'm going to zoom in on this. And I'm going to take our fib. I'm going to draw it. And let's just leave the 618 on so that we could focus on that right now. So we'll get rid of everything and just leave the 618 right here. Okay, so there we go. So the first push of the day, we did have a downward push. So we take our Fibonacci from our high to our low like this. And let me just get rid of this one. What is this? -1? Okay. Okay, so there we go. So let's continue. Next candle comes in, it makes a newer low right there. All right. So you could see in this case, guys, today, the first leg of the day was a loser. We blew right through the first leg of the day. There wasn't any opportunity. It didn't even give you a chance. It blew right through. And as soon as we blew right through and we made a new high, that's when we go ahead and switch our Fibonacci from the low to the high now, because we're saying that the bullish algorithm that came in right here on this outside bar, this one is more powerful than the bear that tried to short in the morning. So we pulled back right here, guys. We touched the 618. I want you to focus on this. When we touched the 618, you could see that algo wick. So we had a pretty comfortable trade here. We knew that there's an algo sitting on that. Once we saw that wick come in, we got filled on the trade, guys, and that's all she wrote. So those 2 were the first 2 plays of the day. We had a loser on the fib right away. And then the second one was a home run. And I want to show you this because I want to show you how important risk management is. So from an options perspective, let's say you lose about 30% or 20% on this first short But on the calls right here, guys, the calls, let me get the calls for you because we wrote it down. The calls went for 160%. Okay. So in terms of futures, you risk, let's go here to the risk. Let's look at the risk. So you risk roughly 10 points to make 80 points. Okay. So that's what you got to do to stay profitable. So we had the first short was a loser. The second one, guys, came in perfectly. We tagged it and we exploded. And let me just show you that in the Fibonacci room. So we did this one live together in the morning. So you could see, I just want to show you guys full transparency. So look, so this was the first push down. Here comes the pullback, 618786 filled short, stops in place for protection. Don't want to be trapped. So we got stopped out. Okay. Then we said opposing leg, great setup in the golden zone. So now we drew the second leg. And then right here, up against 50, 618 filled right there. Guys, look, all in real time, all live. Then we pop right back up right there. Boom, masterful trade. Okay. So now let's talk about actually putting in the orders. So I just want to, that's why, you know, I say a lot of the time with Fibonacci, you really only need to win 1 out of 3 trades on Fibs to make money. Because even if you lose on the first leg, maybe even if you lose on the second leg, if you get one good leg like this, guys, you're golden. And that's where risk to reward is going to come into play. Okay. So hit me with a 3 if you understand that Fibonacci breakdown. So once your first leg, right? If your first leg breaks, you can swap over and draw the other way. All right. And that's what we call the opposing leg. If we go down to the 1 minute chart here, I'm interested to see if we could find any price action. So for us today, we didn't look for any price action patterns. Instead, what we did was we just took the level. Okay. So if I'm going on the 1 minute chart here, you can see we had the push down. But notice on the way back up, notice this. None of these candles, none of their lows were breaking. None of these lows were broken. So there was no actual entry signal. Let's go to the 2 minute and see. So this goes back to the topic of candlestick confirmation that I'm teaching you guys about the fibs, looking for the candles. If you look on the 2 minute chart as well, guys, there's no confirmation for this Fibonacci on the short. And on the long side, we had the hammer bar. Okay, we had that hammer. So that hammer right there, big long wick, nice play. And you can see the hammer is actually on the 2 minute chart today. We're excellent. All right. Okay. Okay, so now let's go and let's do the orders. So the first thing is I always use Tradingview to put the orders in. I always, not to put the orders in, sorry, to come up with the order entry. So the entry, the stop loss, and the target. So interactive brokers, the first thing you have to know is this. If you go to file and unlock layout, you'll be able to move everything around so that it could look like the way that I have it, but feel free to update it the way you want, okay? So this is the way I like to have it. Oh, wait, let me just bring this one in a little bit so we can line it up. There we go. And I'm just going to hit file and I'm going to hit lock layout. Okay, save. All right. So on the right side, I like to have a big chart. And then on the left side, this is basically your portfolio right here, your watch list, your orders, and your trades will be your executed trades, and your orders will be your open orders, and then your order entry, this is where you actually put the orders in. Okay. So when we do Fibonacci based trades, we do limit orders, and we primarily trade them on futures. Okay. So you'll see in the Discord, when we draw them, we're using futures. Okay. Futures mainly for the actual entries. All right. Today we were using, today we use SPY. So sometimes we mix it up, but if you're not doing options, then if you're using futures, it's the same chart. Obviously it's the same chart, but you need the actual numbers from futures. Okay. So let's go ahead here and let's draw that up. So here was our low in the morning and our high right there. Okay. So our entry, you can see it right here. 36.2650 is our entry. Our stop loss 36.17 and a quarter. And let's just say you take profits at the high 36.4150. So how do you put that in? Okay. So the first thing you do here is you go type in ES. Okay. And then if you hit enter, it'll take you to usually this thing right here, Eversource, blah, 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 energy. You want to go down to E mini S&P 500. So this is for the full contracts. Most of you will not be trading the full contract. Okay. Most of you will be trading MES. So they're the same thing. So you want to go ahead and get futures, not futures options. You want to do futures. Okay. Then you want to select the nearest expiry, which is December. All right. So now we're good to go. So if you're, so I already have the order loaded up here, so I'm just going to cancel
Order
it.
canceled.
And you can hear that order canceled. So what you want to do here is if you're buying the pullback, you want to hit buy. If you're selling the pullback, if you're shorting, then you hit sell. So you hit buy. So quantity, let's just say one contract, and I'm going to go back to my order entry here. So 36.2650. So you want to have a limit. Okay. So limit means if it touches this price, then fill me. Okay. So when the price is up here, so notice we put the order as it's waiting to come back to us. So when we are up here, you see how we're drawing the fibs live, and when we have these little boxes, those are our orders. So once we're above, like up here, we have the order waiting on the level. So it's like the price action needs to come to us. So we're ahead of the order. We're waiting for it. That's like a market maker style of trading where you wait for you have your order waiting. You want to make sure you get in at the price you want to get in at. Okay. So we go ahead, we set the price 36.2650. And what I like to do is hit advance. And then you want to hit that bracket order. So you go back here to your stop loss, 36.17 and a quarter. 36.17 and a quarter, and your target 36.4150. 36.4150. Okay, and you just hit submit. You're gonna get all of this depending on how your broker set up, and this is also a paper account, so there's a whole bunch of crap in here. So just override all that. Boom. Okay, so now we're here. All right. So when you're live, make sure you read whatever disclosures they're telling you because it's based on your account. Okay. So I'm showing you based on the paper. So here we go. So here's the actual order. So you'll see a green line for your buy and two red lines. The red line is the one right here that says stop is your stop, and the limit is your target. So you could see in the morning when we took this trade, we came back down, we tagged it, you get filled right here, and then you squeeze up. Okay. And as you have more size, what you want to do is your limit sell, you're going to adjust it to just do some shares, or you can just you can avoid your limit sell altogether and just have a stop. Okay, because when you have more size, you want to scale out. All right. So that's an example of using the fib to order entry using limit. So when you're shorting, it's the same thing. You do sell limit. But when you're shorting, right, you want the price to be below your entry and it's going to come back into your entry. So you always need to think about it like this. Limit is you are ahead of price action. You want it to come back to you. So for example, on this, the price is up here. We want to come to the dip and we're going to be waiting there. And if you shorted, let's say you wanted to enter on this 618 short, then when we're down here and we're coming back up, you want your order to be waiting there. And unfortunately on this one, you get stopped out. Okay. So that is fibs. So hit me with a 10. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Hit me with a 10. That's your basic orders. I always like to attach a stop loss, always. Just because sometimes the price action can be so fast that you're gonna be in trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna show the options in a second. I'll show the options in a second. We're getting there. Okay, so let's go ahead now and let's talk about triggers. Okay, so the last trade we had on the day, if I go back into the Discord, SPY live rich commentary, SPY trigger long. Okay, so the trigger long. So that was our last trade here, which is 36502. So you could see we got filled right around 1110. We took a slight bit of heat on this, and then we triggered back later in the day and broke through all the resistance, and we hit our target. Okay, so the trigger, we talked about it yesterday, a very decent win rate, about 60 to 70%. And we do this fully automated. We leave the trigger in with the stop loss and we just go for the target. And this one was perfect today. So even if you missed that initial low, like we got a big home run here, but even if you missed that, you had the trigger later on in the day. Okay, so how do you do the triggers now? So same thing, in this case, buy, right? But what you want to use is something called stop limit. Okay, stop limit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to SPY. Okay, so SPY, buy. So let's just leave it at 100 shares. You want to hit a stop limit. So when you go to limit, you might not see it on here. You have to click the arrow if you don't see it, and then it'll come up and you want to hit stop limit. So what the stop limit order means, guys, is it means that only when price breaks that point, it needs to break it. Stop limit means you need to touch it and you need to break it. You need to break it. You can't, like, so for example, if SPY opened up here, you're not going to get filled. If SPY opens down here, you're not going to get filled. Only when price penetrates the green line are you going to get filled. So either from the bottom, if it breaks through, or from the top, if it pulls back. When it touches your price, that's when you're entering the trade. Okay, so same thing. So what you want to do, 365.02. So you want to put your limit 365.02 and your stop 365.02 first. Okay, so 365.02 and then 3. So I left this as 365.05. I'll tell you why. So your stop price is the first price when price touches 365.02, your order becomes active. But whenever you're trading equity, you need to have a cushion because sometimes you're not always going to get filled to the penny. So I like to add 3 to 5 cents on my order to make sure that I get filled. So what I'm telling the broker to do is between 02 and 05, I'm okay to be filled. Okay. And then stop limit, hit submit, override, transmit right there. Okay. So there we go. So it's there, it's waiting. So if you want to set this up the night before, what you would do is you would hit good to cancel. Okay. Or you could still leave it as day. I believe it'll still trigger. It depends on what settings you have, or you could leave it at good to cancel. If you leave it as good to cancel, make sure you cancel it at the end of the day. But if you want to, let's say, set up a swing trade on SPY the weekend before and you want to leave it all week or all month, you can just hit good to cancel. Okay. You can also hit fill outside regular trading hours if you want, but I prefer not to do that. All right. So there we go. So that's the 3 trades. We had 2 winners, 1 loser. I showed you the fibs and I showed you the triggers. Now we're going to go into the options. We're going to do into the conditional order for options. Okay. So hit me with the 5. Are you following me? So what I need you to do for this part is I need you to go ahead and click on this link so we can go to the Interactive Brokers website here. So this is the conditional orders right here. Okay. So please just go to the description in this video and click on this conditional orders for me right now if you can. Okay, please do that. I'm going to try, if I click on it like this. Yeah, okay, so you should get to this page. Okay, so get there, and then let's get back to the orders now. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at Apple as an example. Okay, so last week, our short trade on Apple was, I called it out for the Trading Wars Army last Sunday. We wanted to short below 149 with the 149 puts. So how would you actually do that? So this is a good example. This is a swing trade example here with Apple. So how would you do that? So the first thing that you do is you want to go ahead in here and you want to go to your watch list. This is the way that I do it. I think there's other ways, but I find this the quickest. You go into your watch list right here, just hit Apple like this. Okay. Then you want to go to the option chain. So let's say we wanted, back then we wanted the 149 puts, right? So in this case, because it's so far out of the money, it's not going to be here, but you can also expand it to see more strikes if you want. But let's just go with something that's near the money. So right now, we're at 142-ish. So let's just do the 140 puts. So you would just click on it like this. It's going to come on your watch list. Then you want to right click and you want to go to order ticket. Okay. So now the order ticket is going to bring you to this screen that's called conditional. So right here, you'll add price. So there's so many things you can do. You can add time. So if you don't want to get filled in the first 30 minutes, you can do that. If you want to get filled based on volume, you can do that. Okay. But I like to use price. You hit Apple again, stock. So now we can say this. Okay. When Apple is, where are you? When Apple is less than, so let's go ahead here. Let me just put this aside. So when Apple is less than this price over here, let's just say the low of the week. No, okay, let's just say, let me just pick a number here. So we're going for the 140 calls. Okay, I did calls instead of puts, guys. But anyways, so let's just say you wanted to go calls. Okay, so then you would just say Apple when it's greater than or equal to, let's say 141. Then you want to buy the 140 calls. You hit finish. So it says if Apple stock is greater than 141, now you're back to your menu here. Now you have to set if you want it to fill at a market or a limit. Okay. Generally, if you're doing swings, I like to use market because you're not going to really know what the option price is going to be. You can see that there's a spread here. So sometimes you might get bad fills because of that. So you have to use these wisely. All right. And I like to use them mainly for swings, market, hit good to cancel right there, and then just hit transmit, boom, transmit, there you go. Okay, so now you have it. It says right here, Apple, October 21st, 140 calls. Okay, and this has the underlying condition with it. All right, so now if you're day trading, so you'll do the same thing. So let's say if you want to day trade, so you hit SPY, so options, so just SPY, options. So in this case right here, let's go back to SPY and let's talk about the Fibonacci that we took this morning. Okay. So here with SPY, 360. Okay. So let's say we wanted the 361 calls. So it's not going to be here right now, obviously, because of the big ramp it had. But let me just add, let me add some more strikes so we can just see them all. Okay. Just so I could show you guys. So 361 call, you hit that. Then you hit the right click, order ticket. You wait for that order screen to pop up. And usually, you know, there's not usually any lag. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag, so just be careful. Conditional, add, price, next. Okay, so in this case, we wanted SPY to come back to the 618, which is basically 360.13. All right, so what we say here is when SPY is less than 360.14. Okay, because you're saying once it breaks 360.14, then it's going to be on your 618. All right, so that's a little trick that I like to use. And then you hit finish. You can also set a range. So you can say between 360.14 and 360, let's say. You can set a range as well if you want to do that. Same thing, market, one, whatever you want, day, transmit. All right, does that make sense? The only other thing you can do, so if you don't have time to set up the conditional order, then you would just have your option ready right here. It'll populate right there. You just hit buy. Okay. Then you can put the limit price you want, or if you don't want to miss it at all, you just hit the market. Bam. Okay. And you can also put those on hotkeys. All right. So hit me with a 9. Did that all make sense, my friends? Yeah. The spreads, that's why if you're going to do options, it's great to use things like SPY, like the Qs, because the spreads are tight enough that you won't have huge slippage. All right. When you're doing conditional orders, you can get slippage. So that's why you really want to focus on ones that have a tight spread like SPY for options. All right. All right, guys, look, check this out right now. There's not a lot of people that go out here and listen to you guys. And I know this is something you wanted. So please hit me with a like on this video and a subscribe if you can. I'm going to continue to do more of these educational videos. I promised you guys that I would. And I'm here. I got the demo account. Like I said, I'm an interactive broker partner now. We've come a long way and I want to educate you. But please make sure that you do your due diligence, because make sure your account has the right features. I don't know. The reason I'm very cautious about this, I don't know if you, what broker you're using. I don't know if you have the light, if you have the pro, if you have the right data, market data. I don't know if you have it set up right. So I want you to paper trade this first. Make sure it works for you first before you risk any money. That's all that I ask. All right. All right, guys, there we go. I really hope this helps you. As always, guys, yesterday we did the 1-year celebration of SPY VIP, and we have a whole bunch of new members that came in today. And I just want to say, guys, if I haven't gotten to your request yet, I am working on it, and I'm going to continue to work on it right after this stream. So the deal we have right now is if you get any one of our 3 books, you get 60 days for free in the Discord. And that's only going to be for another 24 hours. So we started it yesterday for 48 hours. We have 24 hours left. So by the end of tomorrow's stream, that deal will no longer be available. So if this is the best time, if you're considering you want to come trade with us, learn the fibs, learn how we trade, come check us out. 60 days. So it says 1 month free here. You're going to get 2 months free. You're going to get the indicators, the premium ones with alerts. You're going to have all the guidance that we have. We have a great community. So overall, today was a great day. We were able to catch a huge home run, and we just want to keep it going. So this home run trade should basically pay for the week if we play it correctly, as long as we don't do anything stupid. All right. So congratulations for everybody that did well today, and I'll see you guys here back tomorrow. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Have a great evening. Life is short, and I want you guys to keep pushing to be the best you can be. Don't have any regrets in your life, because there's things that I've been seeing just in general in life, and it hurts me. And I want to tell you guys, life is short. All right. So make the best out of it and always push yourself to get better. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.